Let's begin with Kenyans who may elect the president on a separate day from other positions. That's if a proposal by the Law Society of Kenya gets approval. Appearing before the National Dialogue Committee, various stakeholders pushed for speedy reconstitution of the polls body IEBC and an audit of last year's general election. Here's Chimtai Goin with that report.
The country's electioneering process dominated the National Dialogue Committee hearings, with various stakeholders, including the Law Society of Kenya, pushing for the audit of the country's polls in order to correct recurring mistakes that often cause strife post the elections.
2017, same actor, we reform something. 2022, a new president, same actor, we reform something. When does it stop? When do we stop crucifying Kenyans who we give mandates to carry out credible and free and fair elections? After every successive election, we are making IEBC a death sentence.
We can look at the past, that is the 2022 election, and audit it, see what lessons we can learn from it and move forward with those lessons. Or we can say that we look at the framework. And I think the legislative framework requires a little bit of panel beating.
There is a need to always conduct an evaluation of the entire electoral process, not just on the presidential process itself. And this is informed by our reports, which keep talking about the process of voter registration, for instance, the process of voter education, and other processes in the elections, including the political party nominations.
With the activities of the selection panel on IEBC standing suspended and with no commissioners in office, the Dialogue Committee sought insight on how the new commissioners should be recruited.
In the event that the decision is not a corporate decision, meaning, say, there's a hung jury kind of situation in the commission, or a split jury kind of situation in the commission, what do we need to do going the next general election to put our country on a political and legal terra firma?
It is indeed true we propose one term with members appointed immediately after election and political parties to nominate, and the chairman can be elected by the members. Our proposal is answering the trust deficit.
There is need to amend the provisions on qualifications for the appointment of the chairperson of the IEBC, because the current provision ring-fences that position to legal professionals alone.
But we are further saying that the selection panel needs to be obligated to expressly submit 6 names only for the position of the commission and only 1 name for the name of the chairperson of the commission.
The Law Society of Kenya opposed Kenya Kwanza's proposal to legally establish the office of official opposition and that of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, threatening legal action.
The Law Society will not be in support of any proposals to create such offices unless really they are made in such a manner that conforms and to the Constitution, and also are done in a manner that will promote the achievements of the objects of the Constitution.
The Prime Cabinet Secretary, this one should head the government business and be accountable to Parliament to foster inclusivity and cooperation.
Though the Interreligious Council proposed that the boundary delimitation role be taken away from IEBC, others felt.
But our strongest view is that the 290 constituencies and the 47 counties be protected in perpetuity. That we only speak about the overpopulated constituencies based on the population quota through the creation of new constituencies or additional members of parliament.
The government's failure to arrest the rising cost of living was also questioned.
The disposable income that is left to the ordinary mwananchi has shrinked significantly. How has the government responded to these difficulties that are faced through taxation to alleviate that suffering?
CMD is also proposing the tightening of the Political Parties Act to ensure any elected member who opts to sing the tune of another party or coalition be forced to seek fresh mandate. This, they say, will ensure political party hygiene and decorum. With 3 days left before the National Dialogue Committee concludes its public engagement sessions, it is racing against time to ensure that it can gather as many views as possible from institutions and members of the public who had already submitted memoranda on the 5 issues for deliberation. Then the committee will now proceed to have its own independent session before a report is tabled. Chemutai Goin, Citizen TV at the Bomas of Kenya.
Now, there was alleged